Somewhere out there someone needs me. I don't know how or where, but believe me, I'll walk the universe to find her, for better or for worse beside her, for the honor of love, by the power above. I have the power, I have the power. A stranger walked into my world, and when he talked I really heard. He spoke of things like love and peace, the joy it brings will never cease, for the honor of love, by the power above. I have the power, I have the power. The truth of love will always guide us, the strength above will be inside us, forevermore we'll be together, our hearts will soar one to the other, for the honor of love, by the power above. We have the power, we have the power, so can you.
It was night at Castle Grayskull. Everyone was sleeping soundly except the sorceress. She was having a terrible dream. In the dream, she heard a voice cry out,
You may have defeated us, but you'll never see this child again.
Waking from her dream, she shouted out a mysterious name.
The sword!
Before the sorceress's eyes, hovering in midair, was a glowing sword that looked exactly like He-Man's sword of power, except for a shining jewel in the handle. As the sorceress stared in amazement, the magical sword began to float away. She jumped out of bed and followed it until it stopped before a door of mystery. The door creaked open, revealing a glowing gate. Suddenly, the sword lost its glow and fell to the floor. The sorceress picked it up with wonder.
Can it be? After so long.
Later, Prince Adam received a mental message from the sorceress, summoning him to Castle Grayskull. When Adam and his tiger Cringer arrived, the sorceress showed the prince the glowing gate. Prince Adam was puzzled.
Well, if it's a gate, where does it go to?
That I cannot say. This door has never opened before.
And you want me to pass through it and find someone in the world it leads to?
This sword shall lead you to the one you seek.
Why, except for this jewel, this sword looks exactly like mine.
And like yours, it is meant for someone with a very special destiny.
But how?
Adam, please, ask no questions. Until you find this one, I can say nothing. The very fate of the universe may depend on your success.
The prince turned to his tiger and asked,
Well, ready for an adventure, Cringe?
An adventure? I haven't even had lunch yet.
Enter the gate now, Prince Adam, and good luck to you.
After walking through the glowing gate, Adam and Cringer found themselves in the world of Etheria. They continued on until they came upon the village of Thamor. Finding an inn where they could eat, Prince Adam and Cringer went inside. Seated in the corner was a handsome young man named Bo. On his shoulder sat his pet Cowl, an owl with butterfly-like wings. When Bo spotted Adam, he asked Cowl,
You think he's a spy for the Horde, Cowell?
It seems quite unlikely, Bo. The only time a Hordeman ever smiles is when he's doing something awful to someone.
A few minutes later, 3 Horde troopers entered the tavern and immediately started trouble. They attacked the harp player and destroyed his harp. Adam and Bo jumped into the battle. The troopers were strong, but clumsy, and were no match for the 2 young men. After the fight was over, Adam and Bo shook hands and introduced themselves.
My name's Adam. Mine's Bo. Good to meet you, Adam.
I don't mean to be an alarmist, Bo, but when the Horde finds out about this, they're sure to send a force squad after us. Ugh.
You're right. You better come with us, Adam. They'll be after you, too. Where are we going? Whispering Woods, of course. From now on, my friend, you are part of the Great Rebellion.
Meanwhile, in another part of Etheria, in the Fright Zone, the cruel leader of the Horde, the evil Hordak, was listening to his advisor, Shadow Weaver, a wicked woman with mysterious powers.
Well, my dark magics have told me that a stranger from another world has come to Etheria. And he brings with him the seed of great trouble for the Horde.
Where is this stranger?
He was in the kingdom of Bright Moon, but my spells can no longer find him.
Send Force Captain Adora to me at once. I have a plan which will bring this stranger into the open. And then we will teach him it's not nice to cause trouble for the evil Horde.
While Hordak was making his evil plans, Adam and Bo arrived at the rebel camp in Whispering Woods. There, Bo introduced Adam to the rebel leader, a young woman named Glimmer.
Glimmer, this is Adam. Pleased to meet you. Adam helped me teach some Horde troopers a lesson in Thamor.
Glimmer's mother, Queen Angela, had been captured by the Horde, and Glimmer lived for the day when the rebels would defeat them and set her mother free. Just then, a witch and her broom crash-landed in Whispering Woods. It was the lovable Madame Raz and her talking friend, Broom. Glimmer ran to help her.
Madam Raz, are you all right? Oh, dearie my, yes. But there was something important I had to tell you. Now, what was that again?
The village of Thamor, the Horde.
That's it! The Horde has placed the entire village of Thamor under arrest.
When they heard the news, Adam and Bo realized it was their fight with the Horde troopers that caused the problems for the people of the village. Together, they vowed to help. Gathering Glimmer's band of rebels, they returned to Thamor, where they saw a terrible sight. Glimmer cried out,
It's a Horde slave transport. And they're loading the villagers into it.
The rebels had to stop the Horde villains. Even though they were greatly outnumbered by the Horde troopers, Glimmer's troops fought bravely. Just when it seemed that the rebels would be defeated, Prince Adam transformed himself and Cringer into He-Man and Battle Cat.
By the power of Grayskull.
Soon, the battle narrowed down to just 2 fighters, He-Man and Force Captain Adora. When He-Man pointed the sword of protection at Adora, it began to glow. Adora's face appeared in the jewel. He-Man was amazed.
What? Why,
You're the one I came to find.
Is that so?
Snarled Adora, and she quickly signaled a Horde trooper to fire off a blast from his energy baton, sending He-Man crumbling to the ground.
You're mine now, stranger. You and this curious sword.
When Adora brought her prisoner to Hordak, the evil ruler imprisoned He-Man on Beast Island. But Madame Raz used a magic spell to find out where He-Man was. Then she used her powers again to make a magic flying boat and flew Bo and the rebels to Beast Island. But before the rebels could attack, the evil Hordak struck again. He shot down their flying boat, and they crash-landed on the island. He-Man was held down by glowing magical chains in the plunder room when Adora came to him carrying the sword.
I'm Adora, Force Captain Adora. And your name?
My name is He-Man.
This sword you carried intrigues me, He-Man. It feels as if it were made just for me.
I thought it was.
And now you don't.
I was to give that sword to someone who served the forces of good. But you serve the forces of evil.
Evil? You're the one who serves evil, Rebel. I serve the rightful rulers of Etheria.
You can't believe that. Haven't you seen how the Horde treats people?
Well, I've spent most of my life training in the Fright Zone. There's been little time to see the rest of Etheria.
Then why don't you do it now? Or are you afraid of learning the truth about the Horde?
I'm afraid of nothing.
Then you'll go?
I'll think about it.
Adora mounted her horse, Spirit, and headed for the prison gate.
Halt! State your business.
Force Captain Adora on a secret mission for Hordak. Open the gate, Trooper.
Once she was off the island, Adora told Spirit,
Well, Spirit, now we'll prove to ourselves that He-Man was lying, huh?
Meanwhile, back on Beast Island, the rebels found He-Man. But before they could free him, Hordak and his villains entered the plunder room, and Shadow Weaver put all the rebels under a spell. He-Man shouted in a rage.
You villain, what have you done to them?
They are merely paralyzed for a time. Better to ask what I will do to them if you do not tell me why you have come to Etheria.
When He-Man refused to talk, Hordak left, warning that he would be back to get He-Man's answer. Once they were gone, Cowl came flying in.
Might I be of some assistance?
Can you get me loose?
Using his amazing intelligence, Cowl found the right buttons on Hordak's control board. One push, and He-Man's chains fell away.
You've done it. Now let's go find our friends. I've had enough of this place.
Oh, I find it rather unpleasant myself.
He-Man burst into his rebel friend's cell and freed them. Once he got them safely off the island, he destroyed the prison forever.
Well, that's one prison the Horde will have to do without.
Meanwhile, Adora had been wandering through Etheria and seen for herself how cruelly the Horde troopers treated the people. Returning to the Fright Zone, she faced Hordak and Shadow Weaver. Hordak demanded,
Adora, where have you been?
I've been seeing for myself how we rule Etheria.
What have you discovered?
You lied to me, both of you. The Horde is evil, cruel, unjust. The people hate us, and with good cause.
Let me help you, child.
Shadow Weaver moved towards Adora.
Stay away!
Surely you would not harm me, Adora. Am I not like a mother to you? You will see things clearer after some sleep.
Said Shadow Weaver as she put Adora under an enchanted spell. Hordak was worried.
First this He-Man arrives, and now Adora turns against me.
Well, remember who she really is.
Yes.
Hordak would stop at nothing to keep Adora loyal to him. and to destroy his enemies. He had devised a dangerous new weapon, the Magna Beam Transporter, which could send anything or anyone wherever he wished. Its energy ray was powered by draining the strength and willpower of captured rebels, Hordak boasted.
Once the Magna Beam is at full power, I will transport the entire Whispering Woods to the Valley of the Lost, and all the rebels with it.
Back in Whispering Woods, Glimmer tried to persuade Adam not to go back and fight Hordak.
But Adam, mission or no mission, it's foolish for you to go to the Fright Zone. Oh, you'll be captured. Stay with us in the safety of Whispering Woods.
Well, even the Whispering Woods are not safe from the Horde. I have to get going.
Once he was out of Glimmer's sight, Adam transformed again into He-Man.
By the power of Grayskull!
He-Man then captured a Horde trooper and disguised himself in the trooper's clothes. But Shadow Weaver's cunning magic saw through his disguise, and she advised Hordak.
If we capture him, he will supply the Magna Beam with all the energy it needs. And with the Magna Beam charged,
I'll send the rebels to a place where they'll never bother me again.
Still under Shadow Weaver's spell, Adora captured He-Man and brought him to Hordak.
Guards, take this rebel to the plunder room and put him in the Magna Beam charger. His energy should be all I need to charge the Magna Beam to full capacity.
The charger? No, please, you can't.
Do you have an objection, Force Captain?
Seeing Adora getting stronger, Shadow Weaver cast another spell. Adora grew weak again.
No objections, my liege. To the plunder room with the rebels.
That night, Adora's sleep was disturbed by strange dreams.
No, it's evil. No.
And a message from the sorceress. Adora awakened with new strength.
Something strange is happening. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to find out.
Adora went immediately to the plunder room, where she saw how He-Man's strength was draining. Then the face of the sorceress appeared in the jewel of her strange new sword. The sorceress spoke.
Adora, the time has come for you to seek your destiny. You must throw off the enchantments that have made you a slave to the Horde's will. Let your heart guide you toward the path that you know to be right. And let this sword give you the strength to follow that path. Use that strength to protect the weak and to help right the wrongs committed by the Horde. And let your first duty be to this man about to be enslaved by the Horde.
A rebel warrior?
He is no ordinary rebel, Adora. He is He-Man, hero and champion on the side of goodness. But to you, Adora, he is also something more. Adora, the Horde stole you from your parents when you were a tiny baby. So you never knew your mother, and you never knew your father. But you also had a twin brother. This man is your brother, Adora. And Adora, he needs your help. For the honor of Grayskull, Adora.
For the honor of Grayskull? For the honor of Grayskull!
In a burst of magic, Adora transformed into She-Ra, the Princess of Power. Hordak had imprisoned He-Man in the plunder room to drain his strength and charge his evil Magna Beam. Now that she knew the truth about herself, She-Ra was determined to help her long-lost brother.
Oh, my brother. What have they done? Can I do anything? The guards will be here any second.
Who are you?
A friend who wants to help you.
The sword of power. My sword.
Of course. The sword of power.
She-Ra tossed He-Man his sword, which he hid just as Hordak and his guards burst into the room. Hordak was pleased to see how weak He-Man was, and how his Magna Beam was now fully charged.
Guards! Take these rebels at your leisure. I shall go upstairs to activate the Magna Beam.
Magna Beam? What's a Magna Beam?
Don't ask. We have to stop him.
I'll take care of that. You go warn the rebellion.
Right. Good luck.
As she mounted her horse Spirit to ride away, She-Ra called,
Go, Spirit.
Before her eyes, Spirit was transformed into a winged unicorn.
I am Swiftwing now, dear friend.
He said as they flew off. Meanwhile, back in the prison, He-Man followed Hordak up to the roof and surprised him at his Magna Beam by pushing up through the floor.
Pretty good, Rebel, but not good enough. I'm activating the Magna Beam. This will take care of Whispering Woods.
Oh, no. Hordak has turned on the Magna Beam. I've got to do something. Wait. That big rock just might do it. Down, Swiftwing!
Using her amazing powers, She-Ra tossed a boulder high into the air to intercept the Magna Beam. The boulder exploded with a fury. Hordak screamed.
No! My Magna Beam wasted on a rock! Well, I still have enough power for a second shot.
Sorry,
said He-Man, as he punched the Magna Beam projector and split it wide open. The energy trapped inside it was released, and in moments the prisoners grew strong again.
What happened? Where are we? I don't know what happened, but my energy is returning, and I know exactly where we're going. Back to the rebellion, men.
Enraged that his Magna Beam projector was destroyed, Hordak turned on He-Man. But She-Ra swooped down on Swiftwind and carried He-Man off.
Poor Hordak. He's had a pretty frustrating day. Thanks for the rescue. By the way, you were just in time.
Well, what are sisters for, anyway?
Sister? What do you mean?
He-Man, I think we have a lot to talk about.
When She-Ra explained how the sorceress appeared to her and told her who she really was, the sorceress appeared again. This time, she spoke to He-Man and She-Ra together.
Many years ago, twins were born to Randor, King of Eternia, and his queen, Marlena. Those babies were you, Adam, and Adora.
My parents. My real parents.
To have two such fine children brought great joy to the king and queen. But that joy was soon to turn to sorrow, and the cause of that sorrow was a force from another dimension, a force known as the Horde, led by a vicious tyrant called Hordak. The Horde attempted to conquer Eternia, but they were no match for your father's brave soldiers and the magic of Castle Grayskull. So Hordak hatched a vile plot. He knew you were both destined for something special, though he did not know exactly what. So he crept into the past, determined to steal you both away. With him went his favorite pupil, Skeletor.
Once the sorceress had finished the story of the kidnapping, She-Ra exclaimed,
My whole life is changed because of this sword.
I know. And you should give yourself some time to think things over. But there is something you can do right now.
What's that?
Give your brother a big hug.
He-Man and She-Ra hugged each other, then transformed themselves back into Adam and Adora. They returned to Whispering Woods and surprised the rebels with the news that their former enemy, Force Captain Adora, was really Adam's sister.
That's right. Adora's my sister. She was only serving the Horde because of one of Shadow Weaver's evil spells.
But I've broken it, and from now on, I'm with the rebellion.
He-Man and She-Ra then decided that their first mission was to rescue Queen Angela, the mother of the rebel leader Glimmer. The Queen was being held prisoner by the Harpies, evil witches from the Fright Zone. The mission was a success, and it was a happy scene when the mother and daughter were reunited. Adam and Adora then decided to return to Eternia so that Adora could meet her parents. They traveled through the same glowing gate that had brought Adam to Etheria. But Hordak, flying overhead, spotted them.
No, no! I won't let her escape me. Take the controls.
He cried to Shadow Weaver. In an instant, Hordak transformed himself into a mini-missile. He blasted off and rocketed through the glowing gate just before it closed. The evil Horde had returned to Eternia once more. Tears of joy streaked down the faces of King Randor and Queen Marlena when they saw their long-lost daughter.
Look at you. How lovely you are.
Oh, Mother, I'm so glad Adam brought me here.
Son, I want you to know that today you've made me the happiest man on all Eternia. The royal family of Eternia is whole once more. And by the ancients I swear that nothing shall ever separate us again.
Meanwhile, in another part of Eternia, Hordak and his former pupil Skeletor put aside their old rivalries and teamed up again.
You know, Skeletor, your evil is almost a match for my own. Together we'll make life miserable for those Eternian fools. Why, it'll be just like the old days.
Yes, just like the old days.
Hordak was determined to steal Adora back, and with Skeletor's help, he cleverly disguised himself as a chef to sneak into the palace. When the new chef's cake burst open, Hordak jumped out, firing stun rays at everyone. He grabbed Adora in his arms, and before anyone could stop him, he fled the palace with his prisoner. When the stun rays wore off, Prince Adam transformed into He-Man, then appeared before Queen Marlena.
Oh, He-Man, they've taken my little girl from me again. Please get her back.
I will, Queen Marlena. That I promise you.
Back at Snake Mountain, Hordak was preparing to step back through the glowing gate, taking Adora with him, but Skeletor had other ideas.
I'm afraid the plan has been changed, old friend. I have better use for the Princess of Eternia than you.
What?
Skeletor and his henchmen pushed Hordak through the gate.
Skeletor! You traitor!
And now, Princess, I must decide what to do with you.
Oh!
Adora was very clever. She pretended to faint, and when she was alone in the dungeon, she transformed into She-Ra.
For the honor of Grayskull!
It didn't take the Princess of Power long to overpower Skeletor and his evil friends and return to the palace as Adora. Although she wanted to be with her mother and father more than anything, Adora knew she could not stay in Eternia forever.
Please try to understand. I love you all, but Etheria is my world. I can't just leave it in the hands of the Horde.
So Adora bid goodbye to her family, promising to return one day. As Adora lifted Spirit's reins, the sorceress reminded her.
Remember, Adora, whenever you wish to return, just hold up the sword and call my name. I will. Come on, Spirit.
But Prince Adam could not let his sister return to Etheria and fight the Horde alone. So he followed her through the gate, explaining,
Well, I thought I might give you a hand in getting the rebellion off to a big start. Yeah, I hope you don't mind.
Looking skyward, Adam and Adora saw an awful sight. Horde flyers zooming in the direction of Whispering Woods. In the blinking of an eye, they shouted,
By the power of Grayskull!
For the honor of Grayskull!
Double trouble,
said Cringer. With the super strength and powers of She-Ra and He-Man, the rebels won a great victory over Hordak and the evil Horde. When the rebels stormed Castle Bright Moon and cornered Hordak, the evil leader was furious.
No, it's not true. The Horde cannot be beaten like this.
That's where you're mistaken, Jarhead.
You!
It's all over, Hordak. Bright Moon is free, and soon we'll free the other kingdoms as well.
One battle does not win a war, She-Ra.
And before anyone could stop him, Hordak transformed himself into a mini-missile and blasted off.
Wait for me,
cried Shadow Weaver. And She-Ra announced,
They'll be back, and I'll be waiting.
As He-Man and She-Ra stood watching the victorious rebels at the palace, She-Ra exclaimed,
Listen to them cheer. It's good to hear them so happy.
How about you? Aren't you happy?
Yes and no.
You are not returning to Eternia with me, are you?
I can't. Hordak was right. One battle doesn't win a war. And it's a war Etheria's fighting. I'm needed here, He-Man. At least for now. Tell Mother and Father I love them.
I will. Ready to go home, Battle Cat?
Sure, He-Man.
Say goodbye to all my friends here, will you? And if you should ever need my help,
I'll call. And if you ever...
I'll know just who to ask for.
Up, Swift Wind!
Farewell, She-Ra, Princess of Power!
Farewell, He-Man, dear brother!
Somewhere out there, someone needs me. I don't know how or where, but believe me, I'll walk the universe to find